barbecue prawns on the salad rather than the barbie.
Tonight on National 9 News.
Irish stayer Media Puzzle takes out the Melbourne Cup for an emotional win for jockey Damien Oliver.
I'd give it back right now to have my brother back.
Then on a current affair.
The Aussie world-first breakthrough for varicose veins, which gets rid of them with much less pain. Plus all the action from the Melbourne Cup on and off the track.
Queensland's leading hour of news and current affairs from 6 o'clock on 9.
Are extra jabs needed to make sure your children are properly protected? And car finance, we chase down the best deals and the lowest rates for loans. Those stories on Extra tomorrow at 5:30. News is next up. Until tomorrow, from all the team, have a good night.
With Bruce Paige and Jillian Whiting, this is National 9 News.
Irish invader takes the Melbourne Cup.
And Media Puzzle goes to the line to win the Melbourne Cup.
An emotional win for Damien Oliver.
Melbourne Cups don't mean a thing to me anymore. I'd give it back right now to have my brother back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Damien Oliver has turned tragedy into triumph with a bittersweet win in the Melbourne Cup. Booting home Irish stayer Media Puzzle, there wasn't a dry eye at Flemington as Oliver dedicated his victory to his brother Jason, who died last week after a track fall.
Above everyone else, Damien Oliver was the public pick. While parties raged around him, the grieving hoop had to stay in control. Come the Cup, a fully focused Damien ensured this was to be his day.
This is the one that
All she would ask is that she's now given an opportunity to get on with her life.
With her passport now back in her possession, it's rumoured Miss Britain is heading home. Melissa Downs, National 9 News.
Just ahead, teenagers charged with a vandalism attack that silenced a radio station.
And how two men escaped from this.
Iceberg lettuce.
77 cents.
Buy low. Extra value for you.
Specials available this Wednesday only.
You're with National 9 News. Two teenagers have appeared in court charged over a vandalism attack that put radio station 4BH off the air. Daniel Walters and Robert Laws, both 18, face 2 counts of willful damage and another of interfering with a radio transmission. Police claim the pair used bolt cutters to slice high-tension wires supporting the radio station's transmission towers, which then collapsed. The damage bill close to $2 million.
A transmitter was destroyed, and I believe that transmitter is around about $800,000 worth, and the 2 towers in total about $1 million.
If convicted, the pair could go to prison for 7 years.
6 suspected terrorists have been killed in Yemen in a strike by a pilotless American spy plane. The 6 were travelling in a car through the desert when they were hit by 2 missiles launched from the CIA-controlled plane. One of the dead is a...
Nobody was hurt.
In fact, after being given the OK by doctors, Mr. Parry was soon enjoying a beer. As you do. Sport now with Wally. There couldn't have been a more fitting finish to the Melbourne Cup.
No, you couldn't have scripted one, Bruce. We'll take another look at Damien Oliver's emotional victory next, and all the Aussies fit for the Ashes.
Coming up, Damien Oliver's emotional cup triumph, dedicating his greatest win to his brother. Plus the incredible bravery of 2 little girls who lost their mum in Bali. And the breakthrough treatment for varicose veins. A current affair after the news.
Beginning of this
to teach.
It's dynamic, it's exciting and extremely rewarding.
Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
Tonight's Sports Report is brought to you by KFC's famous Taste Bud Thumpin' Zinger Burger. Give your taste buds a hit today.
Good evening. Well, it was an emotional Melbourne Cup with grieving jockey Damien Oliver riding Irish stayer Media Puzzle to victory for the brother who gave him the will to win. When they settled, Sam Mason led the field over to the back straight.
Out past the 1400 and Sam Mason shows the way. Sam Mason taken on now by Hatharana.
By the home turn,
Very nice, and yeah, I've got a lot more stripes to put on my sleeve before I can stand next to those guys.
Boy, they're certainly big names to match.
Nice attitude, wasn't it? Thanks, Will. The share market took a back seat as punters turned to the Melbourne Cup. All the major banks were lower. Patrick Corporation took a tumble. Gympie Gold dipped 1, despite news it's aiming to double the sale of rare gemstones. A better day for Qantas and AMP. Our dollar is a little firmer to the US and to the pound.
John joins us next to check the weather.
KFC Singer Clubberg.
Texture, dryness and dullness. Total Effects helps fight 7 signs in 7 days.
Tonight's weather report is proudly brought to you by Soke. 97% fat-free real potato chips. Really, it's Soke.
Good evening. Yesterday's storms produced just isolated falls around southeast Queensland. The best was Toowoomba with 17 millimetres, and closer to Brisbane's Strathpine had 7 millimetres, with most of Brisbane just missing out completely. Now today, the southeasterly winds kept the temperatures down, but again it was a dry day, and that trend is going to continue at this stage right into the weekend. At the moment in Brisbane it's 20 degrees, the humidity 59% of the barometer is 1,020 and rising. Today's temperatures a very mild one on the Gold Coast. They only reached 24 degrees there. Logan had 16 to 25. Ipswich had a good range, 13 up to 29. Brisbane City 18 to 27, a maximum 1 below average. Redcliffe's range was 18 to 25. Caboolture had 17 to 27 and 20 to 25 on the Sunshine Coast. Now the satellite photos have picked up the storms and unsettled conditions from yesterday. There's that cloud beginning to break up. A few storms around Darwin, but look at Australia completely cloud free. Now onto the chart. The southeast winds off the back of the high pressure system continuing again tomorrow. More northerly wind up, becoming warmer as the week goes on. 29 by Friday, then 31 on Saturday, and the overnight temperatures around 17 or 18 degrees. So it looks at this stage there's just more of the same to come.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
Well, that's how it is this Melbourne Cup Tuesday.
The Day a Nation watched Damien Oliver's remarkable tribute to his brother. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, thanks again for joining us. We begin tonight with the Melbourne Cup triumph inspired by a tragedy. Jockey Damien Oliver scored his second victory in Australia's richest race this afternoon, and he was wearing the silks of his brother, Jason, who died in a Perth hospital last week following a shocking track fall. And Damien's first success in the Melbourne Cup was also a bittersweet affair. He dedicated that winning ride on Doremus in 1995 to his father, Ray.